Greetings, magnificent, beautiful spirit soul that you are. Wow. Take a nice deep breath, breathe into your heart, and I acknowledge you for listening and watching this video, because if you even know what I'm talking about, cool. And if not, keep listening for a while. Watch these videos. There's 700 of them. Use them as teaching tools, learning tools. Apply them. This stuff works. You can't lose with the stuff we use, because it's who you are. You're not a winner and a loser. You're not a failure and a success. You don't have a loss and a gain. This is all words. This is all duality. Dual alley. Keep you fighting and yourself. That's why resistance is persistence. Because what happens, my topic, the real science of the self. You know, there's the science of the mind. That's what I studied with and metaphysics and such, really nice. And yet the real science of the mind is to actually begin to witness and observe your mind. And the mind is not you. The mind is like an application that's an overlay that is generated by fear and guilt to keep you afraid and locked in and limited and going through the birth-death process. When you start to observe, and this is a key, to be a witness and to observe and to watch, and notice how the mind operates, because the real science of the self is beyond a limited material mind. If you need a mind, you say you have divine, but you are divine consciousness. And in divine consciousness, the objective is to attain God consciousness, in the sense of knowing and being fully yourself in every moment. And that means to look at, who do you trust? Do you trust your mind, which is an application, or do you trust yourself? And when you look at how the mind operates and the science of the mind, as you watch the mind, the thoughts are not the greatest power in the universe. You are the greatest power beyond the universe that is actually manifesting what we would call the universe. And you have to say, well, where is the universe? I don't see it. Well, it's in the picture books, and then NASA got little drawings, and you can see there's a big thing out. Well, it looks just like space and about a colorful thing. It's entertaining, I'm sure, but it's in the mind. And that's all part of how the mind operates. The mind, if you watch your mind, what is it doing? It's trying to change the past. Right now, the thoughts keep going back to old dialogue. That happened. Trying to get some morsel of pleasure out of something that went on years ago, and I could dig, or maybe a little something you can feel sorry for yourself and kind of cry yourself to sleep at night and have another drink, you know, just sobbing and sorrow about how loser you are. Yesterday I saw this man, and we were at this yard sale. It was a blast. We had really fun. All my buddies up here, and so this guy was saying, I don't have any friends. Nobody likes me. I said, you're a really nice person. What? And then I said to the woman, that was another woman that was standing there, and I said, that's the mind. The mind is dangerous. She said, yes. And I was like, why? She says, when you start watching what the mind says and the horrible stuff it says about you and about other people, and the stories that are being made up, something happens in the mind, then fills it in and has a story where had really nothing to do with what happened or what really is going on. But everything that happens, and we make a story, is it good for me? Is it bad for me? Because then we're trying to change the past. And then the other thing the mind does is always thinking about the future. I better think about that. I better focus on that. I better make that happen, or it's not going to happen, and I'll be in the street and I won't have anything, and nobody will like me. So I got to get better. I got to work it. So everybody's in the mind trying to figure out how to attain happiness, love, prosperity, joy, being by figuring it out, by copy and paste, find some identity you want that's a so-called success, like these poor souls that they want to look like a Barbie doll, or they want to look like this because, and what they do to their bodies and what they do to them, because inside it's like something's wrong with me. I'm not good enough. What's wrong with you? They're okay, but I'm not. This is your mind. This is not you. And then it's programmed in education, and the person that doesn't answer the question right, it gets laughed at, and they get to stand in the corner because they're stupid and they're dumb. They're not stupid and dumb. They're probably the smartest people in class because they're questioning the information and the knowledge that's written in a book that somebody's going to test you on by true and false or multiple choice. Where do they get their stuff? When you start observing, you observe nature, you observe people, you observe your mind, you observe their mind, you see how, and you know who you are. Okay. If you're not investing yourself in your spiritual life and doing whatever you can to research and find out and discover and be and witness and know who you are and what's possible for you, you just continue on. Birth after birth after birth after death after death after birth after death at monotonous regularity, not having a clue and feeling so sad on your deathbed you're going to leave them all, and all the families looking for, where's the money? You know, where did you hide this? Where did you put that? You know, blah, 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 blah. On and on and on, and it has nothing to do with you. Nothing. You want to know the science of the self. And it's the art and the science of the self, and you already are a self. You're not in a book. You don't have to, change yourself to fit a particular role or anything else. Is that when you're who you are, you bring yourself to every single situation, every single relationship. You don't have to plan what you're going to say. You don't have to rehearse what you're going to communicate. You don't have to practice, trying to talk like somebody and, all of this. This is all outer stuff. And that outer stuff is thrown in your face continuously that you're not good enough. And that the self, there's something wrong, and there's nothing wrong with you. There never has been. And never will be, except if you believe it and you got the stinking thinking that's running your life and telling you who and what you are, what's okay, what's not. Wait a minute. Is this how you're going to live? What are you trying to prove? Okay? What are you trying to prove? Oh, they hurt me, so you're a living example of being beat up forever? Do you want to be a living example of that? Or are you a living example of a divine being in tune with nature, in tune with yourself, completely conscious in every moment as much as you possibly can, and experiencing more and more of the divinity, the beauty, the life force, the creativity, and all that you are? That is the real science of the self. And the real science of the mind is not your God. The mind is not your source. The mind is an implant overlay when you already are divine, full power, all perfect, whole, complete, nothing missing from you, nothing to attain. You've already arrived. You're already there. Now, breathe that in. Now, live your life from you've already arrived. You're already there. And then when you do that, my darling, you bring your genius to all of it. And you are an eternal being. And as you experience that, when you step out of this form drops, because your real form comes forth. Don't go to the light or the tunnel. Don't be talking to the bunch of people that tell you they're going to give you a handler and they're going to move you over here. You got to learn more lessons. You got to work up through all the lessons, and one day you're going to get there. One day you're going to make it. One day you're going to be okay if you do all this. Forget it. You're already more than okay. Right now. Breathe into it. Become an observer. Watch. Then everything will be made known to you because it's right there with you.